In this video, what we're going to be taking a look at is how do we take a very large graphic and create it in such a way and cut it in such a way where we can kind of piece the two pieces together to create a very large graphic. Now, either we're limited because a lot of times when I'm doing like big signs, you have to think about the application process. If I have this huge graphic, how am I going to break it up so I can actually apply it to whatever I want to apply it to? But a lot of times I find myself in a situation where I want to create something bigger than maybe my cutter can even cut, because of the limited width, or maybe it's not so much the cutter as the media that I have available. So let's say, for example, if you look at this graphic, it's not a great example, certainly nothing fancy, but if you look at it, it's 30 inches tall currently, which is too wide for my cutter because I only have a 24-inch cutter. So that's problem number one. But the other problem could be not so much that my cutter is limited, but that the material that I have available to make this, I only have it in a 15-inch width. So even if I had a wider cutter, in this particular case, I still wouldn't be able to make it because I've only got 15-inch black vinyl sitting here. And because I don't use a lot of really wide vinyl, I don't want to have to go and buy more vinyl just for one project. So what we're going to do is just kind of explain a basic technique that I've used countless times, and it's really, really simple. So what I'm actually going to do is, because I know I have 15-inch vinyl, I'm going to cheat and I'm going to make my design maybe just a little bit narrower. Let's just say I'm going to make it 26 inches, for example. All right, so in order to create this, then what I would do is I would simply drag out a horizontal line, and I would place this roughly in the middle, something like this. And then I'm going to just make a duplicate. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit the plus key on my keyboard with this line selected. That's going to make me a duplicate, and then I'm going to deselect. And for my nudge value, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch nudge value, okay? And then we'll just nudge it up, and you can see that's a 1/2 inch overlap. So here's how this is going to work. This is roughly center. And so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to delete one. Actually, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's make a duplicate. That's what we should be doing. Let's make a duplicate. All right, so I'm going to delete the bottom one, and then I'm going to use my Smart Fill tool and click on these just like so. And so it's going to go up to that horizontal line. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then I'm going to take, let's go ahead and delete our horizontal line. I'm going to take all those blue bits and I'm going to combine those together as one. Then, so the first time I deleted the bottom one, okay? But so now I'm going to delete the top one and do basically the same thing. So you can see here, I'm just going to come across, do the same thing. Love this Smart Fill tool. Great little tool. Then we're going to select these and we're going to combine, okay? So now if we take this blue piece, let's see here. Looks like it didn't combine. So let's select it and we'll hit combine. So now I'm going to take this blue piece, which is essentially one piece, and I'm just going to move it over here. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take this blue piece and we're going to move it over here. So now you can see what's actually happening. See how there's an overlap there? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to right click and get rid of all of our outlines. So you can see there's an overlap there. So now if I line both of these up to the left edge, you can see visually I get the same thing that I originally started with. But if we go into wireframe mode, you can see that I have that overlap there. Okay? So that's how you would go about doing it. So then what we would do here, of course, when we actually cut this out of our vinyl, this piece right here, 13.8 inches. So it's going to cut out just fine on our 15-inch side material. And then this one right here is 13.6 inches. So again, it's going to cut just fine as well. But then we're just going to have to overlap them ever so slightly when we actually apply it. So that is how we can take a very large graphic, break it down into pieces, and be able to produce what we need to produce. So that's just one easy way of splitting up a larger graphic that way. So hopefully that'll give you some ideas of how you can split up your graphic that you're working on. Um, so it'll either work with the media that you're working with or the size vinyl cutter that you're working with.